Before we get into this video today, I got a quick disclaimer. So, my son, my youngest son, suffers from mental illness. I'm not going to go into the specifics of the type of mental illness, but what I wanted to say to you about designing your space is when you have a child that has mental illness, maybe they're autistic or some other types of things, their interior space is truly important because they live in their own world. So I did get my mental health certification and I am like a crisis responder. I'm also an interior designer and I did go and get my formal education for that. So in doing that, I did a little research in reference to my son's mental illness. What I found is that there's certain things that are really important in their space to give them a sense of security. I did go to Goodwill and I got just some words because sometimes he does a lot of self-talk to himself, but it's a negative self-talk. And so I'm trying to revert that thinking. And so what I did is I went to the Goodwill and just got some things, some really helpful, kind words. I even found this here. And then I went to work and I printed out a couple of things, just positive words for him, positive affirmation. And then at the Goodwill, I also found this, and I decided to paint it blue because I have blue in his room. He's very, very creative. He's not only he's an artist. He's a musician, so he makes his own music that helps soothe his mental illness. So he loves to do music and stuff. But sometimes, if he's going through his manic state, he can't even think to do his music. So music is something for all my children, actually. We love it. We come from a very musical family. And so this is something important. He's also talked a lot. He always said to me, Mom, tropical vibes, tropical vibes. He loves the idea of the ocean, the breeze, relaxing on a beach where he can just think. And I get that because I'm the same way in so many ways. But it was so surprising because when I was at Goodwill, look what I found. This. And it actually says tropical vibes Olay. That is so crazy. Well, I just wanted to show you a little bit. I don't want to go around the whole room because you're going to get that in this video to see the transformation. But I just wanted to show you and just talk with you a little bit to tell you how important it is to design for someone that has either mental illness, autism, or any of that. Their space is their sanctuary. And to really make it their sanctuary is key. So I hope you enjoy this video. Hey you guys, it's Kika, your lifestyle blogger, and welcome to my son's room. So, my son is away right now, and I am going to surprise him. I reworked his entire room. I don't know how he had this space prior. It was actually a mess, and I have some photos I'm going to show you right here and right here. So as you can see, his room was really in need of a redesign. And so what I did was incorporated all of the colors that I have throughout the house. And I did something a little bit different. So I ordered some additional black and white wallpaper, but I wanted it to be a different pattern than the Country Cottage because that wouldn't look really good in a boy's room. So I did this kind of diamond pattern, black and white, and it does have a touch of gold in it. And then I got a little shelf that I put together. I actually made this. And I went to the Goodwill and got some supplies. And I got these candy jars because boys always love that. I painted this to just give it that extra pop of color. The back of the door is that color. And the front of the door is actually gray, and I'll show you that shortly. On this side, I added some mirrors. This is kind of like a half door. This curtain could have came a little longer, so I'm going to have to change that. I know, but I did paint this door blue. The trim at the bottom is all blue. His floor was painted, so it just needs to be reworked. So I'll make sure I do that. This is where his desk space is. I painted this wood fireplace black just to keep it in the looks and feel of the room. This is actually going to go on his bed. With some things that he needs, like deodorant, soap, just kind of all that kind of stuff. And then I got these sconces from Goodwill for $2.99. each. So I have 2 of them on each side. I have these floating shells, and at Dollar Tree, I found these cute little picture frames. And so I put that there. And I was running out of wallpaper, so I decided to do this design on each side, and it works out really well. And then I had these Christmas lights, and I decided that I want the ones that twinkle in my kitchen. And since we are fast approaching the holidays, there will be additional lights at Hobby Lobby. So I went ahead and put these in my sunroom because this goes really nice with the ambience in here. And then I kept it simple as far as the curtains. They do have the little diamond pattern, but they're really small. And it has the colors that we need, the black, the white, and the grays. And then I hung some shears on 4 sides from the ceiling by using hooks. And then I just tied it with some natural rope from Dollar Tree. And I did it 4 times. And then I got some letters from Walmart, and I painted the letters. And then these stars I got from Goodwill. They're actually mirrors, and they were $1.99 each, and there were 2 of them. That one was actually red, so I painted that. And then his futon, which he used for a bed before, I just sat it over here for additional seating. So what I'm gonna do is when I go up to the cabin, I'm gonna get a TV for him. We're gonna set that on top of this fireplace here. It's about a 36-inch TV, so that'll look nice. And then we're gonna put his bed right here in between kind of all of this. So it should be perfect. I did get a gray rug for him as well. And this is all the stuff that's gonna go on the bed. So I am excited. One last thing, I bought him a cowboy hat. He already had this rocking chair here in the corner. But I bought him a cowboy hat, so I hung him up. I got a hook for his hat, and then I got this key hook for his coat. And I found that at Goodwill for $1.99. Since he lives with me and he really wants to be on his own, I changed some things up, and I actually made it look like a room and board on the outside in the hallway. So there's a fridge and like a snack area, and then each room across from each other has a room number on each of it, along with a wreath.
Okay, y'all, this is my son's room before the makeover. Just a few things that I needed to touch up. You know, he's kind of banged and bopped up there and just kind of made everything all crazy. It looks kind of like a dungeon. That's what it resembled to me. So I needed to change the space, change the energy in the space, and this is what I did. So when you first enter, I wanted to make it more homey in the foyer area. So we got a spot for, snacks and eating. I put a small fridge there. I'm gonna add some plants and things like that on top of that fridge. But this area I wanted to change a little bit so that he can come out of his room. Now, as we enter his room, however, I like the ambience of the dim light. This is before the light is actually cut on. And then I did take the curtains down and put more of like a net over his closet door area. But as you walk in and you turn on the light, it just draws you into the space. We have a lot of things going on here. We have lighting, but everything is organized and uniform. It's cozy. My son suffers from being, I don't want to say paranoia, but and you're in an older, creepy, kind of crickety house. This is a 1942 home. You really want to warm up the space because if you have the original floors, you can just kind of imagine how that sounds and the effects and the sounds that you can hear when you're just upstairs in a smaller space. So I wanted to make it more home-like feel for him. So that way, that won't be a problem when we're walking around downstairs. He's not wondering who it is. And so he has his own space. He has his own spot to sit, somewhere for his coats, his clothes in the closet there. His name is on the wall, everybody. I did put his name on the wall. let him know that he is a star in this space. I put a TV in there for him and a cozy fireplace. This is something that he has never had in his space. He always watches TV on his computer or his smartphone. And to me, it's a different ambience when you're able to lay in the bed and have the fireplace going and watch TV from your bed. So this boy needs to sleep because he's always up. And this space is going to teach him how to relax and sleep and get some rest. You know, a lot of anxiety can stem from not getting enough sleep. So I wanted to make this room cozy and comfy so that he can relax and rest and sleep and kind of in some ways not be afraid to do so. So this is his space, totally redesigned.
Welcome to day 2 of redesigning my son's room. So there are some little tedious finishing touches that I must do. And I want to walk you through the steps of what I'm planning to do. And then I want to show you the after photos of that. So let's just walk through a little bit. So right here, right away, as you notice, my son was pretty rough on his room for the last 5 years. Anyway, this light socket, he actually tried to initiate painting his own room, and I worked with the design. I had to do some touch-ups here and there, but totally cracked and messed up this light socket here. So I ordered more light sockets at Home Depot. I'm telling you, they make a huge difference in your interior design. So if you're ever redesigning your space, and then you take a look back and you're like, what is different? Something is just not quite right. It looks good, but it's not quite right. It's 9 times out of 10 your light covers, I should say, not light sockets. What was I thinking? Anyway, so another light cover here. See, this is an eyesore. Beautiful wallpaper and everything, but this is an eyesore. Another thing that is an eyesore that I'm going to correct is the trim. So everything now that I repainted this white, we got the white, the black, the blues, and the grays going on in this space. This does not quite meet standards. And I know I have this downstairs in my other interior design. I will be working on doing that, but it's just so much that I have to change. So I'm going to first start here because we don't have much in this space that's going on. It looks like the person that redesigned this before I bought the house tried to incorporate the white trim, but they didn't quite just get it all finished. So I'm going to go ahead and finish it myself. So it's the trim here around the door that I'm going to finish. And then this door has been like a nightmare. So here's the trim here. And as you can see, that door across the hall, they already started doing that. So I just need to finish this trim in here so that it matches and in the keeping of everything, and it'll look really, really good. So those are the only other changes that I need to make. There are a few more light sockets in the room that need to be changed. Let me just show you really quick. Like this one over here, I need to change that out. So I ordered some black light sockets with a gray trim. It's going to give it the nice finishing touches that I need. So I had to get a total of 8 because I changed out. There were 7 inside my son's room, but out here in this hallway space, there was one right here. This needs to be changed, especially if I'm going to leave everything this color. And I kind of like this color as well, and I don't really want to change it because it's a lot of work because I have vaulted ceilings over my stairs, and that would just be too much to get to. So I'm just going to go ahead and change the black one too. And then all of this trim outside of the room is going to be changed. That way it matches this trim. Okay, so those are the finishing touches that I have to do. This floor was painted before I moved in, and I'm going to show you there's some scratches and scrapes along the way. And so what I'm going to do All I need to do is just get a quart size of that color paint. So I'm going to take a paint sample and I'll be able to kind of touch those things up. So I'm going to do that. Additionally, oh, you like the saying behind me? This is for my son. Keep him on that positive path, you know. So anyway, this area is kind of like I kind of fixed this area up to be more like a room and board. So my son will feel like he has his total separate space from the rest of the house. And so this is like the snack station over here. So I got the eat sign, and I actually got that at Goodwill for like $4. And then I was thinking, what else could I do? And I was looking on Pinterest. Pinterest is just thumbs up for all the good creativity and design and ideas that you can get. But anyway, they had these dispensers hanging on the wall, and then I remembered years ago, I had dispensers like that for my movie theater room where I kept candy in. Well, I went down, I found both of them, but one did not have a lid. So I was like, you know what, one will do. We don't need two. If I find the lid later, of course, I'll add the other one. But right now, I think this is A-okay for now. And so I added this. I put a hole in the back, and I just added this to the wall here. And this has a lid. And so I don't know if I want to do cereal or whatever I want to do. I probably could do cereal in here and then put the milk in the fridge right here. It's a small freezer. I gotta wipe this off, you guys, so excuse me. Small freezer and fridge. And it's not plugged in yet, but there is a plug right in this corner, surprisingly. And it was like it was just meant for this space. So this fridge used to be in my son's room, and it kept tripping up the power. So I decided to take it out there completely, and we're just gonna put it out here in the hallway. Let him get out of his room a little bit and live out here a little bit too. So I redesigned this area. Now, this is gonna be kind of like where you keep extra waters. We'll have some in the fridge, but I'll put water, some drinks here, and maybe even some snacks like chips and just different things like that. I'll put on these two rows. So that is the idea there. And then that is my other son's space, but actually he lives with his girlfriend now, and all their storage stuff is in there. So hopefully when they get a bigger place, they'll get that stuff out of there, and I will recreate this space to have, it's a large space, and it's actually carpeted in there, but I will recreate this space to have a bunk bed and maybe a twin bed in there. So that way when my grandkids come over, they have a space to bunk instead of sleeping down in my living room. But anyway, so then when you look in this space, what I decided to do is, because I feel like I need a little bit more greenery or something in this area. So what I decided to do, this is just, I was going to put a wreath on there, but I feel like that would be too much with the things that I have hanging on the wall, and with a wreath on this door and a wreath on that door. So I feel like no wreath on that. But when I clean this fridge, I do have a wreath outside that I need to get. And so I'm thinking I'm just going to put that wreath right here on the fridge. So I'll be able to show you that a little bit later in pictures, but I think that would be so perfect to have it right there. And then this space, also I have to put some batteries in this clock, but just, it makes it feel a little bit more homey. It kind of an extension of the bedroom, and it really gives it that home feel. I have not figured out how to program my son's TV, so I have to do that. That'll be next. And then last but not least, of course, I am putting cameras in my house, so I'll have probably one in this hallway and then in the general areas of the house, because cameras are important, especially if you go out of town and travel, as much as you guys seen me doing lately. Kind of nice to be able to look at your camera and see what's going on with your house. So I want to make sure I do that, and that will make everyone feel a lot better when they're at work or not here or away or whatever. We can just kind of peek. Plus, my dog has been doing some really tricky things. I think he's jumping over that gate, and then he goes back and acts like he didn't do anything at all. So he's smarter than he leads on to be. So I would like to have those cameras so I can see exactly what he is doing, because for a while there he was opening up my fridge. Yes, that's a whole nother episode, but anyway. Anyway, I hope you like what I have done, and I am going to show you some photos at the end of the completed finishing touch. Thumbs up to my son's room.